Hello, investor, and welcome to The Awakening, where knowledge is key to your financial destiny. Today, we're going to be discussing one of the easiest indicators and possibly the simplest technical analysis that you can perform. With this particular indicator, Parabolic SAR, you're able to get relatively good consistency with regards to success rate. So right now around 2 o'clock, we're going to go back for maybe about 2 hours worth, maybe about to here, to see about the signals, the amount of signals that you would get from this particular indicator for this amount of time. Parabolic SAR, it's selected right here from the indicators. There it is, it's in the middle. And you're able to kind of get an understanding. Parabolic says that if the dots are above, you can continue to sell. There should be more red candles than green, versus when it's on the bottom, you can continue to buy. There should be more green candles than red. However, the signal is the strongest once it gives the switch. So this is why we're going to go to the instruments right here. We're going to set a vertical line, and we're just going to start around 12 o'clock, right about here. We're going to say that there it is. This was a switch, and depending even on how you select what kind of expiration you select, the one that you tailor yourself, right? Because this is in real market, actually starts with +2. But let's just, kind of stick with this, right? So 1 minute, it's a timer, and it might carry over into the next candle, but you would have been in the money. So let's continue. Here, we see that you also would have been in the money during this switch, right? There it is. It switched in the money on the next candles. The next switch was right here, right? Let's actually zoom in a little bit, right? So you understand on this candle, it said up, and, even if it carried into the next candle, you would have been in the money as well. Okay, let's duplicate the candle, and let's take a look here. Well, here I would say this would have been 50-50, because depending, if you opened it, if the switch of parabolic happened for a sell position here, right, and you opened it at the bottom of this candle or somewhere here, and it closed higher, technically, well, you would have lost. But if it opened a little bit higher and switched, and you opened the position a bit higher, because it even has a wick here, and it closed lower, you would have been in the money. So this one we'll label 50-50. All right, we'll say we'll give it a little bit thicker point. Okay, so let's continue here. Oh, here's another kind of case of 50-50 in my opinion. Let's actually, maybe duplicate this one and set it at this point right here, because, well, I don't know. You could have, as I mentioned, you could have bought. Actually, no, I think that this would have been, definitely lost. But let's see, if you opened here and it closed here a little bit higher, yes, it would have been. But if it carried over into the next candle, you opened at this point and it closed a little bit lower, yeah, you would have lost. So in this case, 50-50. But even if you lost both of them, third step martingale, let's take a look. Usually you don't really need more than 3, and there we go. This one would have been in the money definitely, no matter how you look at it. All right, so if we had win, 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 loss, loss, $1 loss, $2 loss, $6 investment, in this case, you would have won enough money to cover both of these losses and still be in profit. Let's continue to see what we got here. There we go. And here, it should be in the win, right? Because it did close higher. Let's see. Let's continue here. It would have been definitely, well, in this case, it would have been definitely a loss. All right, this one definitely has to be red. Let's make it a little thicker, because it switched, said that it's going to be going down, but it went up. However, the second step martingale, in this case, on the following switch, you should have been in the money here as well. So continuing, let's continue to analyze what we got here. There we go. This one for a sell, I would say 50-50 one more time. Let's turn it yellow. There we go. Next is duplicate. We can still, I think we can duplicate 15 signals here for a buy. Well, as I mentioned, depending on where, but in this case, it really looks like it should be in the money. So, because during the switch, it usually happens in the beginning of the candle. It doesn't wait for the candle to close or something. So, you should have been somewhere here, and it did close higher. If it carried over into the next candle, still, it should have been in the money. However, the one after that would have been, well, again, 50-50 perhaps, but in this case, it's more higher likelihood that it should have been, there would have been a losing trade. So there we go. Let's take a look. So win, 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 right? In this case right here, lose, lose, but on the third step Martingale, we're winning. We're still back in profit. Win, lose, second step Martingale, back in profit. Lose, win, second step Martingale in profit, and in this case we lose, but we're waiting for the second for a continuous switch here. Let's see. So there we go, Martingale. All right. So even though we have like, say, $100 in our balance right now, let's see if during this video we still have time, and we'll see the switch. Usually when the market goes closer to the indicator, to parabolic, it has higher chance of switching. So let's see if we can give it a couple more minutes. Let's see if it switches. I'll open the position. We'll see in the real market. We'll see how this plays out. There we go. So it does seem to be a bit of positive volatility. Okay, if we went through, actually, this in euro dollar, we did go through a few spikes about an hour ago, right? At 11:15, there was I'm sorry, where's 11? There it is, 11:15. There was a spike and a retracement during French manufacturing services PMIs. Here there was a spike, a bit of a late retracement, a very small, with the German manufacturing PMIs at 12:30. I do believe at 12:30 there was GBP, which doesn't really affect euro dollar. It affects it separately. All right, so it might, it might go down a little bit further, but the point is the same, my dear friends. You can see that this indicator provides decent enough statistics that not all of them are going to be, 100% success rate. That's why we never really do just lagging indicators. We usually pair them up with something that's, on the bottom here to kind of give you an idea. But when both of them present a signal, that's when we get a better, higher chances of a successful trade. So, having said that, my dear friends, stay informed, stay empowered, and every trade is a choice in the path to mastery. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to continue to push our finances up together. In the next video, we will discuss leading indicators such as CCI.